Street.
Now in front, the crowd roaring, go, Lonro, go, but the 3-year-old in front, Delsayo, Lonro, he's coming, he's going to get there, yes, Lonro won it. Proud by My Whisper won the last.
Welcome, punters, to another episode of the Whispers Racing Podcast. Doom at 10,000, Australian Derby in the Adelaide Hills. As always, I'm joined by Matty. How are you, Matty?
Going well, Worm. How are you, mate?
Yeah, going well, mate. I'm really pumped for off-peak racing now. We're hitting our straps. Golden ticket into the Melbourne Cup this week, so that should be a little bit exciting.
Absolutely. It should be a ripping field. I can't wait for us to preview that one.
Yeah, it'd be later in the show. There's a little hint. This week we are previewing Flemington Race 2 and Scone Race 5. Bets around the grounds, multi, and Matty had to hand over the pineapple eventually. It was a fair income, good run, Matty. I think it was 4 you had in a row.
Yeah, 4. Then we headed up to the sunny coast and Tycoon Evie, which the market, didn't they come for it? Yes. I tell you what. Look, J-Mart, I thought, gave it a solid ride, but with 100 to go, probably 75, 50 to go. Probably lost a leg or two and, couldn't quite get it done. So, Tycoon Evie, we'll hand that across to yourself, Worm, this week for the pineapple.
Yeah, very excited to actually get a turn. So, it'll be interesting to see where I land. Talking points this week, just a couple. Matty, I don't know if you caught the beautiful off-peak racing of Sandown on Saturday, but Globe, $1.70, absolutely pissed in. Your thoughts on this horse?
I did just walk it in, as we like to say. Who was in that race?
Oh, yeah, that was a humdinger of a race, mate. Benchmark 100. You were looking at second was Normandy Bridge and Daytona Bay.
Okay, look, I'll give something to Daytona Bay, but outside of that, I can't say it beat too much. It did do it very comfortably. Look, I haven't spent a whole lot of time on this horse, but looking at what it's done, getting up to a 90 rating in 4 races, you got to tip your hat to it. I think it's done an enormous job there, but along the way, a maiden benchmark 0 to 64, another benchmark 64, and then the benchmark 100. So, look, I don't know if it's beat much, but what's been served up to it, it's definitely demolished.
Yep. Now a 73 rater. Ran a massive figure at Sandown, a figure that would probably win a few Group 1s if it ever got to that figure again. So I'm happy they've put it out. Hopefully comes back, grows a bit. I love its style. I love that leading and then just going from the 600, catch me if you can sort of tactics. Beautifully ridden by Selena Gaudry on Saturday. But where would you be aiming with this horse, Matty, if you were the 100% owner?
If I was 100% owner for this horse, to your point, I'm very glad they'd be putting it out if I was the owner of this, and hopefully aiming it towards maybe a bit of an early spring, some of those lead-up type races. That's where I would be aiming it, and you'd be taking it one race at a time to see if it could potentially get up to, I don't know, some of those Group 2, potentially Group 3 races.
Yeah. I did say pre-show, I'd love to see it in a Moonee Valley Cup because it's always B to C grade stayers. Probably be really competitive in those. And now just thinking, why wouldn't you target the end of the spring like your Pakenham Cups, your Cranbourne Cups, 1,600, 2,000 metres? They're those benchmark 90 horses in them. So why wouldn't you just pinch? There's good prize money in those races. So why wouldn't you try and pinch a few of those? But knowing the ownership, you'd probably get pretty greedy pretty quick, and they'll probably aim too high, too early.
Well, look at posing the question. If I was 100% owner, I would like to see it running pre-spring to understand if it's a chance in a Group 1 race. I would hate to be watching these races throughout the spring, thinking, what if? So I definitely want to see it run in the earlier spring races. to understand where it's going to be sitting next preparation.
Yeah, nice. Matty, you wanted to bring something to the table. What are you bringing?
Oh, mate, I just noticed that Rockin' Horse had retired during the week. What were your thoughts on Rockin' Horse?
Yeah, it's an interesting one. I remember when it's won its first Newmarket and at hundreds, and it probably kicked everyone out of the quaddie. But then to win a VRC sprint, I think we just maybe underestimated this horse. Obviously didn't come back to anywhere near those numbers of spring, but yeah, very underrated horse. But I wouldn't rate it. But I wouldn't rate it too highly.
Yeah, no, fair enough. Fair enough. Look, it was actually its first start in Australia too. Yeah. That Newmarket where it kicked me included, everyone out of quaddies, multis, just absolutely everything. So at 100 to 1, hopefully someone found it within the community. But yeah, I'm quite comfortable to see the back of Rockin' Horse just for the fact that it has cost me quite a lot. But in saying that, like it won 2 Group 1s and then it came third in the William Reid not too long ago as well. So I think hats off to the ownership group there. 3 million in prize money would be more than comfortable and wouldn't care less about my opinions of the horse.
No, that's right. But I'd love to own a horse that would be a quaddie killer. It'd be no better feeling winning at 80s at Flemington and just turning around saluting everyone. Thanks for coming. Everyone's out of the quaddie. That'd be a great feeling. But yeah, happy retirement. He'll probably end up at the Living Legends. I think they hand them out. So probably you'll see him at Flemington in about 6 months' time parading around.
And just quickly, my whisper, it ran last weekend, didn't it?
Yeah. On the corner, I'm like, oh, hello. She might be back, but no, she just didn't. She's in trouble. We might have to have an intro meeting, and she might be on the chopping block pretty quick.
Okay. Well, will Rockin' Horse be on the table?
Yeah, just because you bagged it, I might put him in there. But double Group 1 winner. So happy retirement and see you in 6 months at Flemington for Living Legends Day. All right, track stats. Rail True. But at Flemington, as I said, Rail True, every horse gets their chance. If you're a regular listener here, you're going to hear the same things I say here. Circle races, it's going to be very hard to lead all the way. Don't know why that is, but it just is. And I'll be just looking for horses just off that speed. And horses, in lanes 4 to 7, very advantageous. And straight racing, as Matty and I like to look at, is horses with middle to outside barriers. Something also I'm learning as well with straight racing, looking for horses on speed. They're not going as quick up front. They're getting to the front, sitting up on them, and it's a dash home. I'm hearing a lot of noise about that. So I've made some adjustments on that too. So I'll start backing back markers, I reckon. Trial trackers this week. Flemington Race 9, number 14. Do not leave this out of your quaddie or you will be burnt. This is the quaddie killer, I reckon. Taught You Could. Race 9, number 14. The jump out's going to be on YouTube. If you're watching, it's in the white cap, white sleeves, leads all the way. It was under medium ride, and I thought it did it quite nicely. Its first jump out, it was cuddled up, extended nicely, very late. It's a big horse, and I think 1,400 plus might be suited than Saturday. But when I saw the price, 40s off this jump out, I think it's just crazy. 2 jump outs, it's fit to go. As I've mentioned in previous podcasts, this trainer does have them ready to go first up. As I said, the first jump out jumped straight to the lead, medium riding. Just loved the way he went about it. His action was beautiful. He looks like he's come back a better horse. Plus, I thought it was a nice prep first up. So it'll be interesting to see how he's come back. If he's come back anywhere near that jump out, 40s is quite a silly price. That's race 9, number 14. Thought You Could. All right, so I'll kick things off here. Race 2, Flemington. 3-year-olds over the 1,400 metres. Top odds here. We've got DK favourite, $5. If Auric is at $5.50, Mr. Mojo rising $6. Private Jumbo, 750. Hell Hath No Fury, $7. Lounge Bar Ruby, $10. You can have $12 plus the rest. Speed map here. There's plenty of pace on the outside here from 10 and 11 from Eye of the Eagle and Private Jumbo. I think they'll go straight to the front. You burn a little bit of speed to get there. Private Jumbo led last start and won, so I can't see them changing their tactics. And because Eye of the Eagle's from 11, I think they'll just follow it to come across. Mr. Mojo Rising, I think from 8, best case scenario, it comes across with those horses and uses them to get across to 2 wide, right behind the leader. Worst case, he's going to be 3 wide, no cover. DK from 1 kicks up and will use it and be just camping right behind the leaders. I think it'll go better if there's a bit of tempo in the race because last start it just pulled its head off of a slow tempo. Interesting here, Hell Hath No Fury from 3. I don't think they'll burn too much energy being first up. And Lounge Bar Ruby, fit now, raring to go, keeps winning. I'd be surprised if they take a sit midfield, but that's where I've mapped it. Best case, it could camp right behind the leaders. So first 100 metres will be an interesting watch. In saying all that, I'm pretty keen here. Number 3, Mr. Mojo Rising. Worst case, we're going to be 3 wide, no cover, as I mentioned. 1,400 metres is a turning race. From the start to about the 600 where they straighten up, it is just full turning into the straight. But if we can slot in here, I think we're going to be very, very hard to beat. Jump on the Tab app, watch its last start. It was about 9 lengths off from last start on the inside. And yeah, 9 lengths off the lead speed. When straightening, had no luck, bumped its way through. It still won the race. I think it was a great win. And I think the handicappers thought it was too a very good win because it jumped up from a 0 rating to 70. And when you win a maiden, you're around about the 64 mark in the rating. So why has this jumped straight up to 70? Because I think they've rated this win. Plus, this horse ran second to Pier, who is a very talented 3-year-old from New Zealand. Aussie Kerr owns it. I've heard big things about this horse. I think it came over for 1 start, didn't do much, straight out. But if it shows its best in Oz, I think Mr. Mojo Rising, we've got to follow here. Now, in that race at New Zealand, its final 600, 400, 200 home, 34.5, 22.90, 11.44 home. I think that's just flying. And if it brings that sort of style to Flemington, I think this horse wins $5, $6. I think it starts with a 3 in front of it once the big punters come to play because, yeah, that last start was nothing but impressive. Private Jumbo doesn't have the decent form lines, but to the eye, I just reckon the way it broke its maiden was a very nice win, and it's going to do similar tactics. So something to keep an eye on. And hopefully they go a nice solid speed, especially for Mr. Mojo Rising. But yeah, can't knock Private Jumbo. Just the form is just a bit yucky. Castilian, DK, Eye of the Eagle, all raced against each other at Sandown, bunch finish. Hard to follow anything in from that race. But if you like DK, he's a 2-0 over Eye of the Eagle. So he's going to get a perfect run in transit. Matty, your thoughts?
I was just going to ask you about the one horse here, and you just mentioned at the end there, did run in that Ladbrokes race where it was a bit of a bunch finish, as you mentioned. Linda Meach, what's she like as a lead rider?
Yeah, no, she's I think she rode the most winners at Warrnambool, so she's in definitely good form, mate. Yeah, that's the interesting one. I couldn't work out, will they try and lead? Because last start, she was behind them. And then as soon as they just went too slow, she had to peel out. I think she was on it last start. Peeled out, had to just sort of go that normal speed. Great ride, just died on the last 50. If they can lead here, get a soft lead, I think it's going to be hard to run down. But I just think from 10 and 11, Eye the Eagle, Private Jumbo, they're going to burn to get to the front because they're both of them aren't going to be 3 wide, no cover. If they are, it is an absolute stinker of a ride.
Yeah, no, I don't disagree with that, and I see them pushing forward as well. I do see, though, if DK does lead, as you mentioned, with Linda on board, gets a bit of a soft lead, might be a little bit hard to get past here. That would be the only danger to your horse, but I can see how you've landed on it, and a little bit more value there as well, which I do like in Mr. Mojo.
Well, take the price now because I'll be shocked if this starts anywhere near $5 because, yeah, last start was impressive. We'll move to subscribing to the channel, guys. Please get in contact with Matty or myself if you want to join the community on WhatsApp. It's a community full of punters, sickos, love punting. We've been a bit quiet of late, but that's off-peak racing. We always heat up Saturdays. We do appreciate everyone that listens and watches us each and every week. We do, really appreciate it, as I said, because everything we do is for free, no hidden paywalls. It's just us doing it for the love and enjoying it each and every week and finding you plenty of winners, which Matty has done for the last 4 bloody weeks. Subscribe, rate us, comment, even get involved in the socials, what your best bets are or whatever your bets are. Would love to interact with you all. Anything to add, Matty?
No, mate, you are right. A little bit quiet. We do pipe up on Saturdays. The other as well is Hong Kong racing. Very active on the Hong Kong races, Sunday and also Wednesday. So for those that on Mother's Day this weekend have a couple of frothies at lunchtime and get a little bit energetic on the punts on a Sunday night, I think it might be a bit lively this Sunday as well.
Yeah, I'm sure the mothers are going to love it when we turn on Hong Kong at about 3 and our wives. I think it'll be, I can hear the line already. Surely there's one day in your life you don't have to watch horse racing.
There is Monday.
So, yeah, that's right. There's a few Hong Kong players in there, which is good. It's a bit of interest on Sunday when the footy's shit and your football team's going like shit. So, yeah, Hong Kong racing. Matty, race 5 you want to have a look at?
Yeah, race 5 up at Scone. The card up there's a little bit interesting. A couple of big fields. Definitely not really the metro quality, but I thought there were a couple of metro quality horses within this field that I didn't mind the look of. So in this race, as you'd imagine, across the 1100 metres, there is going to be a fair bit of pace. But have you got the odds there? And I'll talk you through a few that I don't mind.
Yeah, we top odds. So Quantico is $3.60, Malkovic $4.60, and a Matt $6. The Horn Unicorn $7.50, 11 $8.50, and then you can have $10 plus the rest.
Thank you, mate. Look, the first one I'm going to talk about is Sneaky Page. Now, mate, Sneaky Page, what have we got there for the best odds?
35 with Ladbrokes.
35s at the moment. Yeah, look, for me, this one is definitely overs. At that price, from a wider gate, it's going to need to sit midfield. It does usually like to sit a little bit forward, but what I like about it is the first up form line. Asphora and also Veniskova, getting within the length of those two first up at Flemington, definitely like that. Last preparation was quite disappointing, and you can see that it's changed trainer from Mark Newman across to Brad Widdop. And I think at that 35, just make sure that you have something small on it because it's definitely got the talent, and changing trainers generally does bring something a little new for these horses. So a horse with the talent, I'm quite comfortable with Sneaky Page just to be having something very, very small on at that 35s. So anyway, look, not going to be the main play within this race. The two that I had on top, the Horned Unicorn and also Quantico. Now, the Horned Unicorn, I've backed it before. First up, has had four first up starts, 2 wins. Usually likes to take a sit in the top 4, and realistically, it's going to get that opportunity from barrier number 6 here. So I think Sam Clipperton could get the run of the race out of any other horse within this field, which makes it very attractive. If it does jump well, I wouldn't be surprised if it just sits outside the leader, which isn't a bad thing, especially Within a field like this, I can see Malkovic also being forward, not unusual for it as well. But the Horned Unicorn, more than capable of winning a race like this. First up, usually ready to go. So, look, I had that second, but Quantico on top. Now, first up, again, very solid form, no issues there. The race pattern here is going to be absolutely huge, and it will determine whether this horse is in the finish or not. If it's favouring the leaders, it may have a little bit more of a challenge. I see it's probably going to sit in front of maybe 3 or 4 horses, but towards the back of the midfield, and that shouldn't be too much of an issue with the amount of pace that we're expecting within this race. So Worm, Quantico, it's the best rated horse within this field, and I see it very hard for Quantico not to be running top 3. How did you see this race?
Yeah, I was just looking at the trial of Sneaky Page, mate. Was that a nice little jump out at $35? I might have to change. We have to re-record, mate, and I'll change my trial tracker because that was pretty good. One thing I noticed, and I could be completely wrong here, but Mark Newnham's going to Hong Kong. So I wouldn't be looking too much into his stable changes because there'd be just owners going, while you're leaving, we're just going to give him to someone else now.
Absolutely.
So I'm going to take that as the factor. And as you said, went well first up against Asfora Vereskova and Zapateo, who was 4th. Should have probably won a Group 1 on Saturday if it had any luck. Now, it followed the same line, one jump out into this. So at 35s, hello, we're having a bet. And yeah, I'm going to follow you in with Quantico, mate. I loved its jump out under medium riding. Winner was Giga Kick, favourite for the Doomben 10,000. So I'm quite happy to follow you in on both runners, mate, which is some rare air.
No, very good, and good call out as well with Mark Newman heading across to Hong Kong. So yeah, won't read too much into that, but definitely expecting these horses when they do change stables, they generally perform fairly well in their first couple of starts.
Yep. Around the grounds, Matty, where are you going this weekend?
Well, mate, we're going up north, up to Brisbane, Doomben, race number 5. Now, this is one that I popped into the black book after a couple of jump outs that I saw. Unfortunately, on its first run in Sydney, it was on a heavy 10, and I wasn't too keen on backing anything that day, which is why we didn't go near too many races. But Armed Forces was really looking forward to it when it did run first up. 2 super trials, J-Mac on board, really keen to see how it goes in a fairly competitive field. Now, the couple of Snowden horses in the field, they're favourite, and fair enough too. But, mate, Armed Forces, $4 a place, that's where my money will be going. So, Worm, that is my only around the grounds for this week.
Oh, wow. To stay on Doomben, it'd be interesting to see how that day pans out because you got Kalika. That's it. In the rough habit at $1.80, and then you've got Giga Kick $1.75, both back markers. Doomben can play quite leaderish, so if they're not running on, I wouldn't be having a bet at all on those two. But if they can run on, I'd be keen to get involved in both. And also the Kalika, it's got my head out of whack. It's grand finals in a couple of weeks in the big derby in Brisbane. So will it be ready to go? You know, that's the factor you got to take in. Giga Kick, its grand final was last start or the start before, going again. You know, just little things you got to start taking in. And at those short prices, I'm going to leave them alone unless I can see something telling me to get involved, especially if they're running on. So just some
interesting. And yeah, Kovalika.
Kovalika.
Look, I doubted the last start. I definitely shouldn't have. I didn't know whether it was actually going to be long enough for the horse. And mate, it is an absolute star. So if everything races fairly, it will be winning against that field.
Yep, 100%. It'd be just good viewing, I reckon. Just Saturday sitting on the couch and watching Doomben go around without any money on, but that won't happen at all because I'll get sucked in like everyone else will. So my around the ground, Scone Friday. So if you listen to this before race 2, number 1 as a Yarker, slowly away, hunted up to the lead, died on its run late. I think it just used all its energy in the first 100, 200 metres. Timmy Clark goes on board, who's the best front-running jockey in my opinion, will strip better, educated, better for this, all the cliches here. Looking at the replays, I can't find anything to be a danger, so take the price now because I reckon it could start $1.70 come race time. That's race 2, number 1 as a Yarker. We will then go to Morfordville on Saturday, race 7, number 9, Promises Kept. Good win at Bendigo last start, beating them by 3 lengths. Form has sort of stacked up, but this has changed ownership and trainers since the win at Bendigo, which has pricked my ears. Aussie Kerr has bought into it and gone to Kiramar. Now, the last time they did that was Haitotsu. So that's, probably a pointless fact, but just something to keep an eye on. When these guys buy into these horses, it's something that I take notice of, and I'm hearing around the traps that this horse is flying on tracks. So at $7.50, I'm happy to get involved. It might be even a Caulfield Cup horse. Morfordville, race 7, number 9, Promises Kept. Then we'll go to Sunday. We're going to go all 3 days here. Race 4, number 6, Love the Bull. No, this is not a repeat of Warrnambool. It's race 4, number 6, Love the Bull. No markets yet, but I'll take anything down to $1.80. This horse sat near last, ran home hard, went down by 3 lengths. It was hard to make ground at Warrnambool, especially on the first day. Race rated well for maidens. Barrier 1 can sit closer. Dean Yendall goes on board, makes it me even more confident. So that's race 4, number 6, Love the Bull. Multi, Matty, what are you throwing in?
I'll be throwing in the 2 that I mentioned. Armed Forces for a place around that $3.54 mark. Look, fingers crossed it comes up with a good track because the I'm Invincible colt just did not handle the heavy track last start. So we'll be popping that in, as I said, around about that $3.54 mark. And Quantico, the place at $1.70, which I think is an absolute steal.
Beautiful. And then I'm going to throw in Port Adelaide to beat North Melbourne, $1.16, and Mr. Mojo Rising, the place, $2 the place. Please, if that's coming race time, look out. So that comes to $13. Port Adelaide to win, Mr. Mojo Rising the place, Forces in Brisbane the place, and Quantico the place. $13. I don't mind it. Pineapple the week. Well, I think if you're a week-to-week listener, I don't think it comes to any shock where we're going here, Matty, because when you find a good horse and it puts up picket fences until last start, I think you just got to keep following. So we're going Flemington, race 7, number 10, White Marlin. Now, this horse is grand final, and we have this is its grand final. I'll get it out. And we've known that since November when it won in November. They said, we're going to set it for this race. Good first up. 1, beat Right You Are. Right You Are won the Mornington Cup. Tick. Now, second up, I know he got rolled at $1.20, but the run, I think, was way better than it looked. Ran into a headwind when the barriers open, and down the back at Pakenham, it's a long straight down the back. So used a lot of energy to get to the front. Then the jockey decided to sit up and go as slow as he could and make it a sprint home when straightening. That's not ideal for the horse. I know the horse looked gone at the 100 metres, but last 75, this horse was fighting back, and through the line, he was really strong. That was 2,100 down to 2,000. Now back up to 2,800. I think it's even better for it. The only danger is he's a shocker. Sat last. He's a shocker ride in the Mornington Cup. It was probably the best losing ride I've seen in all time. Sat last, went around a mid-race at Mornington on a tight turning track. Unbelievable ride by Blake Shin. Go and have a look at it. Wowee. Hasn't seen 2800 though. So that's my query. Now, looking at White Marlin, we know what he did last time at 2800 in November. Absolutely pissed in. I think it's going to happen again. We'll only get stronger when they loom up to go near him, and it will be go time and will be favourite for the Melbourne Cup post-race. Matty.
White Marlin. How many times has that been tipped as a pineapple on this show?
So I went it before you went on your big run of 4. And then I reckon you've gone once with it.
Okay. So I think this is the most tipped pineapple within the show's history.
Yeah. So this is the White Marlin podcast next Thursday. We'll go with that. Every promo will be White Marlin. And we'll just have to get a few more grey hairs so we can look like the horse.
No issues here. But have you tipped it for the cup?
No, I can't tip it for the cup. I just can't. But it'll be, I can see the narrative now all week leading in, next week. It'll be whitemarlin.com. Favourites. It's just going to be unbearable to listen to all week. But yeah, that's
do you reckon we'll get to hear from Gay after the race?
Who?
Gay Waterhouse.
She'll be there, definitely. Okay, I hope she is.
Just want to make sure we hear her say that this horse will win the Melbourne Cup.
Yeah. She was there for Gold. Was it Goldman? Yeah, Goldman when he qualified for the Melbourne Cup. So
beautiful.
If she's on track, we'll be right.
Absolutely. No, looking forward to it.
Any last words, mate?
No. You've already mentioned Giga Kick and Kovalika, and I wanted to get your thoughts on them, but you've covered that off. So no last thoughts from me.
No, beautiful. We'll be back next week for some sort of racing somewhere around Australia. Definitely off-peak racing in Melbourne, that's for sure, what I get out of bed for. Thank you for listening, guys. Please subscribe, please rate, please share, please get involved. We really appreciate everyone listening, watching, and getting involved because we just do it for free, no hidden paywalls. So please get involved some way or another with us. I'll see you next week, Matty, and we'll check out with our favourite guy.
I'm not a good person, but it just goes to show that good things do happen to bad people. So anyone out there who's up against the wall, fucking stick to it. Every cent you got, your rent, your electricity bill, if you're going to buy your missus a ring, don't fucking do it. Keep punting. Keep fucking punting.